The main two lenses, and my only two lenses actually, that I primarily use for photos and video.
Hey, I think I love her. We would stay up all night under the covers. I would play it shit.
What's up everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be different than most of my usual vlogs. I'm dedicating today's video entirely to sharing some tips that I found helpful when taking photos and just making the process a lot easier if you're interested in photography. With that being said, by no means am I an expert in this field at all. These are just some things that I've learned through my experience with photography and that my friends and I have all shared to help get our ideas from our head into something actually created. Tip number one, get a fast lens. By a fast lens, I mean a lens with a low aperture of 2.8 or lower, especially if you only have the kit lens for your camera. If you're interested in shooting people or lots of portraits, I would recommend getting a 50mm 1.8 lens as soon as you get a camera. It's about $150 tops, and you can get them used for under $100. And it's amazing. It makes the background just look super smooth and gives a whole different kind of dynamic to your images. Without this 1.8 aperture, getting portraits or professional quality photos is really hard with the kit lens, especially when you try to zoom in to crop it at the right focal length because the aperture doesn't stay consistent. The main two lenses I use on my camera for photo and video are a 16-35 f2.8 Canon lens and a Canon 50mm 1.4. I like using the 16-35mm because it allows me to go from really wide to still kind of wide, but it allows me to maintain a constant aperture of 2.8. This makes filming at night and in like low light conditions a lot easier and creates the really cool, beautiful bokeh background effect you see in a lot of my videos that I like to pull focus with. The 50mm 1.4 lens I use a lot for portraits and it looks just super professional. The 1.4 gives me an extra stop of light entering, so it makes everything super smooth in the background. Everything looks professional, the subject is in focus, it isolates the subject amazing. Tip number two, make a mood board. Before you go on shoots with people, I like to create a bunch of collages of images and colors and random inspo pics into a collage and send it to the person I'm taking pictures with so we can get an idea in each other's mind and see what we like and what we don't like. It saves a lot of time on the day of and it just makes everything a lot easier. Tip number three, build relationships. Shooting in public can be the most intimidating thing, especially if you're first starting off. Find other people who are interested in photography and go shoot with them. That's the only way you're going to get better and the only way you're going to become more comfortable with doing it. Especially with people. If you're finding someone that you want to be as your subject, build a relationship with them. It's going to be a lot less awkward if you're shooting someone that you guys are actually genuinely friends with than if you don't know them at all and you just treat them as the subject of your image. Every time I go on a shoot, I like to actually build a relationship and start talking to someone before I actually take pictures of them. It makes shooting a lot less awkward and it makes the whole process seem natural and your images just look better. Tip number four, do not rely on your post-editing software to fix something that you could have fixed on the spot of the shoot. There is no reason why you shouldn't just take the extra time to recompose a shot, move an object that's in the frame that you don't like, move it out, fix lighting, unnecessary shadows and stuff like that. Properly expose your image, learn your camera, understand how to do everything as good as you can on the spot so that when you're editing, it's fun and you don't have to go back and fix everything that was just lazy errors. Tip number five, find your style. There is no reason why you should be taking photos that you don't like. Obviously, you have to do a lot of trial and error to figure out what you like and what you don't like. Shoot a bunch of portraits, shoot a bunch of landscapes, shoot a bunch of animal photography, shoot a bunch of sports. It doesn't matter what you do. Understand what you like to do and what you don't like to do. And then learn how to edit to match your style. What you'll start to find is that when you edit, you do start to make some of the same changes consistently, which starts to show how you like your images to look. And then eventually you can start creating your own presets to use on your images, which save you time immensely. My last tip for you guys is do not follow every rule of photography to a T because it doesn't really matter. You can take a portrait with a higher f-stop as long as you're happy with it and it looks good. You can take underexposed images, you can take overexposed images. It just depends on the situation and as long as you know what looks good, that's what's important. The basic photo rules only really apply to those that have no clue of what they're doing and just gives you a good starting point. But more often than not, after shooting lots of people and taking lots of pictures, you're gonna quickly realize that what looks good just naturally comes to you and that you're gonna be following those rules like subconsciously without always being like, oh, I need to put that there or this can't be in the middle. You're gonna know what looks good and when you can put it in the middle and stuff like that. It doesn't really matter. There's no right way to take a picture. As long as it looks good and you're happy with it, that's what's most important. I hope this video was helpful in one way or another. Again, I do not consider myself a professional in this field. These are my opinions on things I wish I knew when I was first starting off in photography that made my workflow a lot easier and just a lot more enjoyable. Moving on, thank you for watching this video. If you found this video helpful or want to see more videos like this, please let me know. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a like, and I'll see you next time. Give a high five to the devil up on my bed. They try to bring me down.